since we last talked, you published your book, Live Not by Lies. I know that a lot of Christians that I know have been talking about Live Not by Lies, and I think it's done very well in terms of sales.
Yeah, it has.
But I don't believe that it's been talked about at all in any of the mainstream press. So what do you think is the reason for that?
Yeah, isn't that interesting? When the Benedict option came out in 2017, it got tons of press, and that sold well too. This new book has sold almost twice as well, but it's gotten no attention from the mainstream press. I think there are a couple of reasons for that. First of all, Donald Trump. We've been through 4 years of the Trump presidency. When the Benedict option came out, we were just 6 weeks into the Trump presidency, and the mainstream media didn't feel threatened by conservative critiques in the way they came to be over the course of the Trump presidency. So I was talking to a friend of mine who is a reporter for one of the major dailies, and she's on the left too. She told me that there was definitely a change in the media because of Trump's. All the liberals in the media, which is to say most of the media, came to believe that saying anything positive about any conservative, whether you were pro-Trump or not, was giving Trump aid in his crusade to destroy democracy and so forth. Therefore, they might have shown interest in things like Live Not by Lies before, but they're not going to do it now because they're under the impression that this helps Trump, even though the book is not about Trump. Secondly, in Live Not by Lies, I talk about wokeness, which is the slang term we use to talk about gender ideology, critical race theory, things like that. I call that out as forms of soft totalitarianism. Now, if you're in the media today, you see gender ideology, the advance of transgender rights, as a good thing. You see what happened with the riots after George Floyd, and you see the advance of critical race theory as progress. What I'm saying in Live Not by Lies is no. This is the coming of totalitarianism, and we've got to wake up. Naturally, the media is not going to like that, but the word is getting out among Christians. I think it has to be word of mouth because the book is selling so well, but I keep hearing from people, Christians who say, I read this and bought copies for 5 of my friends because it lifted the scales from their eyes. And again, it's not me that's doing this. It's what I did with this book is I started listening to Christians who had come from the Soviet bloc to America to escape communism. And they've been living here for most of their lives, and now they're saying that the things they see happening in America remind them of what they left behind. Well, when I first started hearing that, I thought that's kind of alarmist, but I kept hearing it and I kept talking to these people. And the more you talk to them, the more you realize, you know what, they're right. Our idea of totalitarianism comes from Stalin, and it comes from Solzhenitsyn, the Gulag Archipelago, and it comes from George Orwell's 1984. Well, we don't see that happening now. We don't have gulags here in America. We don't have secret police yet. We don't have any of the sort of things that characterize totalitarianism in the popular mind. So how can this be totalitarianism? Well, the answer is this. Totalitarianism is a system of government in which only one party monopolizes politics and everything is political. So a totalitarian society doesn't want just your obedience, they want your soul. So when you look around our society, we're still living in a liberal democracy. But the crazy thing about this new form of totalitarianism is that it exists within liberal democracy. It's inhabiting the forms of liberal democracy. That we don't have to have the government coming in, the heavy hand of the state to tell us what we can and can't believe, when you have all the institutions of civil society, universities, academia, big business, even the military, when they've all gone woke, what point is the government? And that's what we're living with right now. And that's the sort of thing people can see, they can sense it. Now, not just the people who came from communist countries, but now more ordinary people are starting to feel like this isn't right. This isn't America when I have to worry about every single thing I say, or who my friends are, or what I've written, because I might lose my job. And so these people who came from the communist world, they were the canaries in the coal mine, but now more and more people are starting to realize what's happening and realizing that the church has got to prepare.